to the TVMusic Network Podcast with Phyllis and Belinda. I'm Belinda.
And I'm Phyllis.
And today we're going to talk about The Voice.
Yes, The Voice, the other competition show that we follow religiously that airs on NBC. It's in, season 30, season 25, season 100 right now. And the live shows are going on where they have, all the coaches have decided on who they want on their teams. And the teams were down to the top 12 that went above the lives. And now it's down to 9 people. So we're going to talk a little bit about the show and that season so far. We have the coaches. First of all, we have Reba McEntire, Queen Reba as everybody calls her. We have John Legend returning, who had a successful thing on the show. He's a very popular judge. We have Chance the Rapper, who is a really, really good judge and probably surprises people because he does rap music. And then we have the very first duet, people in the double chairs, which is Dan and Shay, the country duo.
Yeah, now we talked about this in an earlier podcast.
Right. Who
we thought had the best team people based on before the battles and, after the knockouts and they complete their teams.
I keep going
and
back
we
and forth,
always go with John Legend.
Right.
So our last podcast, who had the best series of people and they finished all the auditions, it was John Legend. Who do we think was going to have the best team going into the top 12?
Yeah.
What's the lives? I think I said John Legend. No, I didn't say John Legend.
I know.
I said Dan and Shay, and I think you said Chance the Rapper.
Yeah.
And I think
Chance the Rapper has a really good team.
I think you're probably right.
Right.
Because basically when they picked the top 12, I understood how they make the choices. Usually they make the top 12, and I'm usually screaming because usually John will do something completely crazy.
Yeah, but I'm like, you
year,
need to pick who you think's going to get you votes.
This year...
And you know how people vote.
Yeah, and this year they did it. Because when they got down to Team Legend, he went with Bryan, the rocker guy.
Who is going to get a lot of votes.
And
He's
Zoe.
Great.
I know why he went with Zoe. She's the young blonde girl that sings pop music.
And everybody keeps talking about her as Taylor Swift.
Yeah, a person like her.
She made some Taylor Swift references, maybe.
Yeah.
Or she sang the Taylor Swift song. She made a song, wrote a song that was in the vein of Taylor Swift. So that's why everybody's calling her Taylor Swift. I really don't remember why she's getting the Taylor Swift references. But there she is.
I don't know either. But I think he was thinking she could sing pop, she could sing rock, she could do country, she could do blue, he could store any kind of way. She's got a pop voice. Pop voices get votes.
Right.
Then he picked the last person he picked was Nathan.
Yeah, and I like him.
Nathan's a star. Nathan is this black guy. I don't know how old he is. He's a black guy. He's totally old school.
He could be late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah, but he's like old school. You can tell, and he even thanked his mom on the tape. Mom got him listening to Otis Redding and Sam Cooke.
He's got, to me, the traditional soul sound.
He's got the traditional soul sound. He's a star. He's got stage presence. He's got, a voice and all that. You can tell he's been playing in clubs, playing in cruise ships.
Right.
Singing a national anthem, probably singing in church. You can kind of tell that.
Yeah, the consummate performer,
so that's why
he's really good.
So that's why he picked them. And I think
all three of them
was really good. And it surprised me, because usually John will pick like 2 people I really think, and then he'll pick some out of left, and I'm like, why did you do that, John Legend? What were you thinking?
Yeah, don't go for who you like. Go for who you think can get you votes.
Because like you said, you have a team, and when you get down to that point, you gotta go with who's gonna get you votes.
Yes.
You can't go by who. The point is to win the competition. Not,
I know, it's just so obvious.
I like these people and whatever too.
Right.
And then Reba went with Josh. Josh is a country guy. Country guys get votes. He's got, the traditional country. He's got the upbeat
old-fashioned, hardy country guy. He's got the
old-fashioned country.
Based on people who have won The Voice before, he's like the perfect candidate for it.
Reba's thinking there. Then she went with Elle Rogers. The last one she went with Elle Rogers.
Fantastic voice.
So she could do the belt pull. She could do the performance stuff. And, so that's what she went with her. And then she went with Asher. And Asher's another guy. He's got a real powerful voice. He's got a theatrical look.
Yeah, very theatrical. Broadway bound.
Broadway bound.
You know who reminds me of? And I mean this as a compliment, too. He reminds me of the Tony winner who plays the genie on Aladdin.
Aladdin, yes.
Yeah. Doesn't he remind you of that? Like his soulful voice.
Didn't we see him? Was he also in Hamilton? That genie?
Asher was in Hamilton?
No, not Asher. No.
Wait, what?
No. The genie guy.
The genie? What about
the genie guy from Aladdin. Was he only in Aladdin? Did he come to Pantages and we saw him in?
I thought he was...
Anyway, that's a whole other subject. Man, we just saw him watching the
But he's a fantastic person. That's what he reminds me of.
This guy, I don't know Asher's background. I meant to look it up for our podcast. But I can see him he's either done cruises or Broadway or...
Well, it's in his
theatrical. And if he hasn't, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
So that's why she picked that team. So I could understand why she did it. So she could kind of hit all three areas.
Right.
And then Dan Shay has Karen. Everyone needs one country artist on their team. And that's where Karen fits.
Karen's going on the road. She's going to be opening up one day for Kelsey Ballerini, Miranda Lambert.
She's already living in Nashville.
The girls' tour, yeah.
She even said, I think she either moved to Nashville to get her career done, or she'd been working in Nashville. I'm not sure if it's a songwriter situation, or if it's a vocal situation, or a little bit of both. But
I feel like that's her wheelhouse.
Yeah, so she picked Dan and Shay. And Karen was smart. When this show's all over, get her record out.
Yeah,
talk to
Dan
in the middle
of the country.
Once the once you can contact and get in touch with your coach outside of being a coach when that show's over, and because Dan and Shay got a tour booked already.
Oh yeah,
or got a booking one for the fall.
They got something,
or booking one for next year, depending on who's going to be the coaches, which we'll find out about a week or so.
Yeah, and Dan's a really good producer.
So she needs to start riding that train. And if she doesn't ride that train, then she needs to start looking at the Blakes and looking at the Kelsey Ballerinas, looking at the Rebas, the Keith Urbans, and all that. Because when country artists go on tour, they take people with them. And one thing I always like about the country artists the most, I know it's the most, they go on a tour, it's the headliner and two opening acts.
Yeah, the genre.
Which is pretty much
pretty standard.
Pretty much every single tour. But the thing I like about the country artists, it's very obvious. They usually go straight from the label. If you're on Warner Country, you take two artists that are up and coming, and that gives them that exposure.
Right.
That's how Taylor Swift. She said she started touring with every single person, like Brad Paisley, and Brad Paisley. I was about to say Bryan Adams, not Brad, but Brad Paisley, Tim McGraw,
right?
And that's why all those tours are very successful. You look at Luke Bryan's tour. I hate to use Luke as an example since he's on that rival show, but still, he has like 10 opening acts, and they have little asterisk marks. Who's playing with them, and that's what needs to be happening, on the show. That's what Karen needs to do.
And I hope that it does.
So, Karen, if you're listening to this podcast,
those people need to be
and I will send you a copy of it.
Names.
If I will send you a copy of it, I will tweet you in this thing, Karen.
Right.
You need to listen to this. What you need to do. Okay.
Follow the Belinda's LA Music rules of breaking into the country music business.
Scene. Yeah. Madison was the their little, I kept saying golden person. The person I forgot what they called them. They had a pass when they...
Playoff person, yeah, right?
Madison's there. Madison's young. Madison's got a pop voice.
She's got commercial. Really, really good potential to be big. Yeah.
So they can move her different places the way they need to move her. And then that's her. And then they picked Tay. Tay is... another one. Tay's a black country singer. Black people singing country music is the in thing right now.
He's a performer.
Everyone's doing it right now. Everyone's singing right now. It's a big deal. So Tay is peaking at the right time. Tay, when you listen to it, say what I said. Same what I said for Karen, can go for Tay. So that's where Tay can go. But anyway, so that's what's going on with the teams, and they picked. Is that all of them? And then Chance went with Maddie Jane. Maddie Jane's a young pop girl.
And she has history. She definitely
has history.
Right. She looks like a performer. She seems like a record person who probably had some kind of label, had some kind of interest. It's a story. It didn't work. She's got a backstory.
Maddie's got a backstory. And when I was at the Hollywood show, the announcer out of nowhere. Could you go to the Marriott? We get these out of these
nowhere. Yeah, that's where you get all your scoops.
And they end up being tea later that you don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
This announcer
That's funny.
Who you don't see, he's backstage. We didn't see him until like the end of the day. Said, anybody watching The Voice? Like while we're waiting for a panel.
Just out of nowhere.
And I said, yeah. He goes, anybody know Maddie Jane? And we had just seen her. I'm like, yeah, she was great. He goes, oh, well, I used to manage her. I manage her now, or I used to manage her. She's going to go really far. And I'm thinking, is she coming tomorrow? Like, is she here? You know, should I talk to her now? Is she staying in the hotel?
That's
funny. You know, because I'm like, they stay, you know, nearby. I'm like, maybe that she's in the hotel right now. And that was it. So I thought, that meant she already made the playoff because it's a pre-taped show. Today it's the first show live. So I'm like, So Maddie Jane is one of those that had some record deal or some management deal and something. Okay, Maddie Jane is a star.
Right.
This girl is a star. The right promotion, the right management, the right whatever. You know, she's a star. And what I mean by star, as being the potential to go, I shouldn't say far. You know what I mean by star.
Have to go far. I just need to get them to the point where somebody knows their name.
Somebody knows their name. Yeah.
Somebody, or they have a song that's on the Billboard charts that maybe hits number 1, hits top 10, hits the top 40. I don't even know what the criteria is now. Top 40 playlist, top 20 playlist, anything.
And not just iTunes for a weekend. We never see.
Yeah, I feel like that's the one thing. That's the one thing. One thing that this show is lacking. Talked about so hard.
They're lacking. They're lacking that.
They promote the coaches.
That superstar.
You would not
I love the show to
but,
death.
My God.
But the coaches get more promotion than the contestants. And I know one of the second producers.
It's been that way since day one.
That way. And she said the way she looks at it, it is a workshop. It's a workshop for them to prepare themselves to be in the industry. And that a lot of the stories are behind the scenes and not on front of the scenes. Like when they asked someone who sang on the, the greatest sound ship. The greatest sound ship. The Greatest Showman soundtrack. They had a guy, girl who wrote songs and wrote some stuff for Soundland. So she was saying that people that you see...
It's a boot camp.
It's a boot camp. So they're preparing them for success, but it may not be the success that you see as quick as you see on other things. That's a producer told me shows. Years ago when I was
I guess that still rings true.
That still rings true, and I hope they do.
So let's see who's going to win the workshop.
Then we have Serenity.
Yeah.
And Serenity's another one. Another young girl, pretty voice, very pop, commercial voice, a producer's dream.
Like those
And then there's Nadage.
Madison, Serenity, and Maddie Jane.
Are all going to cancel each other out at some point. So anyway, so that was the top 12.
Yeah.
And that's how they picked them. And this is the first year, I think, in ages that I agreed with who they picked from to make the top 12.
Mm-hmm.
So now let's talk a little bit about the performances. Who you like and who you not. Let's just start with. I'm
just gonna say who I like.
All right.
I thought that Nathan is really good. Nathan does a really good job. I'd like to see him go far in this competition. I'd like to see him outside of The Voice. Have some kind of success. Maybe he has some kind of record deal, some kind of performances where I can see him. I like him. The sad part is that I like everybody. And I don't know if I had to vote for, if I had to vote for certain people or if I had to pick one person from every team. That's the hard thing. Because if I had to pick one person from every team, I would pick Nathan for nostalgia. The fact that I like him, he would be good, going, opening up for Mariah Carey at her Christmas shows, sing a couple of songs. I think that he could have a song, like maybe written by John Legend, written by somebody. I would like to see him, strive and go on. With Chance, this is the hard part. Are we talking about, people who left or people who didn't leave? Because that's hard, Pete.
I was just going to go down their performances, but you just said who you like, so.
Yeah, I just like to go by who I like.
And that's fine.
Okay, well, for Dan and Shay, I could pick Tay, I could pick Madison, I could pick Karen. Any one of those would work for me. I'm not really, I'd like them all. And I think they're all really good. I don't know if I had to pick one who I would pick or who I could pick. Same with Matt. Same with Team Reba. I like let's see who she have left. I like Asher. I like Josh. I like Elle. I like Madison. I can't really pick. How about you?
John Legend's team.
Yeah.
Let's start with Team Legend.
All right.
John Legend's team, which we just went through the people. I really like Bryan. I love a rocker dude.
Yeah, I like Bryan too.
Love Bryan. Love him to death. Didn't like that he sang the Queen song. Because people
that song's a little tired. It's been
I love that song
in competition,
and so it does it all the time.
Yeah,
all the time. And ain't nobody going to do that song better than Adam Lambert besides Freddie Mercury.
Yeah,
so
that's true. I
cut it out, people. Cut it out. I know
it's like
it's on your set list.
You
just skip it and keep going.
Yep.
Then again, I don't know how many songs he had to choose from and all that stuff too, but he did a great job with it.
Yeah.
But I was like a rocker guy, and I really like Bryan.
Right. I would like for people to get songs that take them out of their comfort zone too, because I feel like he probably picked that song and he might have sang it 1,000 times. I'd like for them to take a song out of their comfort zone, song they haven't really sang before, and perform that and do it well. And the reason I say that is because picking a song out of your comfort zone or a song you don't know is probably the closest we're going to get to seeing them do an original.
Yeah,
and they don't really have very many original songs.
You're right.
Voice. Or at least it seems like they don't.
Usually they talk them out of it when they get to picking their songs at this point in the competition. I think only Blake. I know a contestant have told me a lot of times is that when we talk to contestants all the time, I always ask about song choice. That's so important. And 9 times out of 10, a contestant on Blake's team would always say that they picked all the songs out, and Blake just said, "Yeah, that sounds good." Like he gave him a list of this song. This like
Blake gives them that.
Like Blake didn't try to change up. He would suggest stuff.
Right.
Where the other coaches, I've been told by the contestants that they were like, "Okay, here's your chance. What about these?
Yeah, that's
what about those?" Then they always have a theme where if the audience picks the songs, they do that one. But the time the audience suggests a song, it's so early when they pick them. You know, by the time your fans pick your songs,
it's hard to get to know that person.
The season's almost over, so that too. So when Bryan sings "I Want to Know What Love Is" soon, you won't be surprised. Is what you're saying?
By Rock and Roll Hall of Famers.
That's true. So I think that's it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it. Foreigner.
By Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, Foreigner, who finally got in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I paid you that, and you
finally. In the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and you can listen to our podcast on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and we'll be an upcoming one talking about this year.
Yeah.
That it was and as you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, you saw me make a post that said it was embarrassing. Embarrassing in the music business.
Foreigner
that
and Peter Frampton, I think,
had to have Mark Ronson and Paul McCartney and other celebrities on a video begging the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to induct them.
Right.
A group like Foreigner, who's been around since the 70s, who had 8 or 9 top 10 rock hits before 1985.
Yeah.
Should have never had
know everything too.
Should have never had to beg, or should have never had to wait. The thing with Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you have to be 25 years before you can be inducted. So if you count when they started to 25 years, it was embarrassing.
Right.
And
not to take away from other people, but
yeah, it was embarrassing.
There's some people that are in it, and then they aren't.
But thank you, Paul McCartney, for begging on a video.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Jimmy Fallon, for playing the video. Mark Ronson, who was stepfather, is Mick Jones, who got people to do it. And the guys reported were like, "Oh, we're so happy. Oh, we're so excited." I'm thinking, but now they're finally in it. So I can stop complaining about that until next year when the next nomination.
Right, so next people don't make it. Yeah.
But I throw that in there. So when he sings Foreigner, I want to know what love is.
Right. And because it's coming.
But he did Total by Africa the other week, so he's doing the 80s
He did
songs.
Africa by Total.
Africa, what did I say?
Total by Africa.
We need a group called Africa to make a song called Total. There we go.
Oh, no, we don't.
Anyway, no, we don't.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he did that song, so when that comes up, I don't know what he's doing next week, but I like him.
Yeah.
And then I
agree.
Zoe sang Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls, and you know I love the song Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls. And I think Zoe's great, but I don't think it was a good song for her to do. Her arrangement of it, I think, wasn't good. It sounded too much like the original. The original's excellent. But she tried to change it a little bit.
I don't know.
And it just sounded like
She's had better performances.
Yeah.
Which I think, I don't know, I think she has, but she's a really good artist.
And I think that's her.
I think she'll go very far. But I think one of the things for her is like, you know how she can sing any genre, she can probably go country, she can go whatever. I think she should just decide for these live shows, is she going country, is she going alternative, is she going pop, is she going whatever, but oh well.
It's too late.
Yeah.
And then Nathan, as you know, closed the show where we talked about with Jackie Wilson, and he killed it. Josh, that's Reba's guy.
Right, Reba's country artist.
For Reba's team, I think I like Asher the best.
I like Asher.
I think I like Asher the best. I like his arrangement.
Well, I already told you.
I like his looks. I like everything about it. Jackie and Josh aren't my favorites, but they can sing, you know, and it's too late now. Jackie, shoot. L, okay.
Sorry. I'm like, wait a minute.
Sorry, Jackie
was last year.
Jackie's already home. No, Jackie was a couple of weeks ago. She's home already. Sorry. And then from Dan and Shay's team,
I think I'm confusing Jackie.
Sorry, Jackie went home already. Jackie sang The Story by Brandy Carlisle, and Reba did not pick her.
Because there was a Jackie last year, too.
Yeah, there was a Jackie.
Okay, that's who I'm confusing about.
Yeah, you remember that Jackie from last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, she stood out. Yeah.
Bye, Jackie. Yep, we got Jackie. L, we have Josh. All right.
And then from Dan and Shay's team, I think I like Madison the best.
Yeah, right.
Shay's really good, and Kieran's really good, but I think Madison stands out on that team.
See, I like them all.
And then from team
Madison,
Chance,
right, you're right.
Chance has a really strong team with the three girls. The three girls are really good. There's two now, but there's three. He picked all the girls.
Yep.
They're really good. So I think, basically what happened, we had these performances, and I think Nathan had the best performance. I think he stole the show. I also liked...
he had the best performance of the night, I
think he had the best performance of the night, in my opinion. He was last. He stole the show.
How do you feel about... What's wrong?
Sorry, I made a slight error because I'm going by the list.
Correct your error.
I'm going by the list of the songs they sang when they decided to pick them as the top 12.
That's all right.
And that's where she sang the Goo Goo Dolls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going by who I like and who I don't like.
Elle sang Up to the Mountain. That was Reba's girl. And Maddie sang Happier Than Ever. She was from Team Chance.
Oh, yeah. That was actually a pretty good performance.
Kay sang Dan and Shay, 19 You and Me. He is so going on tour with them. And Bryan sang, which we talked about already, Bryan sang Queen. Bryan opened the show and sang Queen.
Okay, I have a question for you. How did you feel about... They did the playoff pass. They saved people. They weren't allowed to save people and steal people. That whole process. How do you feel about that?
I have no problem with the process. It's just very confusing because it changes every season.
Yeah.
And by the time you get used to it and you change it, 10 more people are gone home.
And it's confusing while it's happening.
Yeah.
During the season.
Yeah.
I'm like, huh?
I think that's what it is. I used to not like it at all. I wasn't saying, you got the lowest by the boat, you need to go home. I think the issue is they're making sure there's only so many live shows.
Yeah.
And it could be because the budget cuts, it could be because the writer's strike, it could be because of anything.
I feel like they were cutting back on live shows even
They were cutting back before the writer's strike.
Yeah, way before.
So they were cutting back way before, because we used to go and there would be 6-7 live shows. Right. And now there's like 3.
6 weeks, now there's 3.
Yeah, that's the one difference between the two singing shows.
Right.
So I'm feeling that you're getting to know these contestants only through not being able to vote. So you're picking your favorite, you're liking them, and you're watching so much control with the coaches than you're getting from yourself.
Yeah.
Madison sang yesterday, and it's a different sound for her. It was so natural and so pretty, and she just killed it. So that's what
that's making up, I guess, for the singer-songwriter songs.
Oh, that's right. Asher sang "I'll Make Love to You" by Boyz II Men. And so he had another one with the big voice. He knew how to use it. Okay, that's it. Zoe, I wanted to get right. She sang "Stick Season." Yeah, it's like very simple, if that's a song, it's by Noah Canyon.
Oh yeah, North Canyon.
But
yeah.
it was very Taylor Swift style. It was like watching a girl sing that song by him. It was very, very Taylor Swift. It was very, very thing, and it worked for her. You know, it got the job done.
Right.
So I think that's the issue with getting to know the people, getting to know them, and getting to vote. So now you get to this opportunity, and one thing they started this last year, and I wasn't too happy with them doing it this year. You get 1 vote per 12.
Yeah.
1 vote. Why can't I just give me... There's 4 coaches. Give me 4 votes.
I have another little pet peeve.
Give me 4 votes. I have 4 coaches.
Right.
Give me 4 votes. Because I used to do it. Okay. It used to be... They used to make one per team. Because they wanted to make sure the finale would have all 4 coaches. Then Gwen and Ariana and Camilla, you could guess them at the beginning of the year which coach was going to wind up with nobody at the end, because Gwen was voting with her heart and not with who could get her to win.
Right.
And Camilla was doing that too. So then it got to the point where there was like no coach would be in the finale.
Right.
Then it would be a thing that would be like 5 people
but
from Blake.
Okay, 5 people
because
Blake,
the first
and 1
week,
person,
no one from Blake's team would go home. So
right.
then they made it like at the beginning, each coach had a person. So at least you knew you had someone to root for.
Right.
And
they're just trying to make it less embarrassing for the other person who doesn't have.
So now they're like, no matter who it is, when we get to the bottom, we're sending 3 home. It's gonna be 3 people, and then 4 people to stay, but one's gonna get it.
Yeah,
that's how they're doing it now.
I don't know if I like that. You know what I used to like? They used to do it so many different ways, where you could vote with Twitter. And you put the save on the Twitter, and they would calculate that and count that. But for some reason, they're not doing that anymore.
That got crazy.
Yeah,
that's an Adam Levine crazy move.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Adam Levine started so many controversies.
Oh my God, that guy.
And I don't think he even meant to. I don't think he even meant to. Okay, in defense of Adam Levine.
You're going to defend Adam Levine.
And I'm defending Adam Levine. You know I love Adam Levine. I love Maroon 5.
I do.
I liked Adam when he first came to the show as a coach.
Yeah.
And then he just started pissing me off. But I think in defense of Adam Levine, I'm defending Adam Levine.
You go.
I think it was because he was so good on the show, and then he won. He won with Tess Ann, and her album came out, and nothing really happened. Oh, yeah. That girl had pipes.
Yeah, the company.
So I think
dropped the ball on it.
And
that pissed him off.
So I think him and also Blake, because we've seen Blake backstage going, all right, you guys are in the room.
Yeah,
you're in the room. You know, Republic, can we do something? Don't mess it up. This person can already prove they can hit the chart.
Right.
So I think once that happened, and that's the same record label, I think Adam then lost interest.
Right.
So he started not really caring as much.
I thought you were going to say something else.
And not.
That's a given.
I think that was why. But I think the whole thing, and I think he started a controversy with that save, because it was like there was art, and that save was weird too, because you can see the percentage of the saves, and then some other person would go home. You're like, well, wait a minute. But I know they always say on Twitter, if you have a lot of people that follow the same people, you're going to see that trend.
Right.
It's like when people so much trending, and someone goes, I never see the trends. Well, you see it because you're following. There's all kind of crazy things. And Twitter's a whole crazy mess now.
Okay,
but I think they just did it so they can keep control of it. If NBC lets you vote once on their app only, then they control who got the correct percentage, and that person goes home. They used to also show you who was winning, so you would know already. You could kind of catch up and do whatever too. I think that was just the easiest way, and I think the same thing with the votes. A lot of the complaints I hear about The Voice, and I used to hear it a lot when it was Blake, was that his fans would vote for his team completely, no matter who they were, what they sang, what they liked. And there was a year when Wendy Moten was there, and Paris, and I forgot the other guys. I think it's Ian. And they were going, no, Ian was different season. But anyway, they were going crazy across the board. Blake. So it didn't matter if they were country or not, because Blake's team votes for Blake. But that's the way you're going to do it.
That's life.
That's life. You're going to vote for your team,
Right.
And so I heard that was probably another reason why they decided to limit the votes. I think if you only can pick one, then it's fair enough. And then there's some people that will get on 9 phones to vote for their favorite. They'll get on 9 computers.
I'm not that dedicated.
They'll get 9 emails.
I get 4 votes, and I'll vote 4 times.
And I think they just
get 1 vote, I vote 1 time.
I think they just wanted to make it fair, because when you got a Twitter save and you got people tweeting and retweeting, and I used to retweet everybody's retweet, and then you retweet to get more votes in.
Yeah.
So I think that's why. I mean, don't I mean, let's put it this way. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I just remember those days where it seemed like it was easier to vote.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Now it seems like it's a little bit more of an effort, a little bit harder.
They're making it harder to vote.
Yeah, that app drove me crazy.
My answer may not be the correct answer.
So I don't know.
But I will ask the producers,
Right.
Next time we see them, we don't go every week anymore. We used to go every week and you would interview them. Then they started doing it online because they do it online now. It started with COVID,
pandemic,
and it's continuing. So you don't necessarily see the producers or the coaches anymore, like we used to. You could talk to the contestants, but it's like online. You really can't ask a contestant that type of question. Right. That's more of an Audrey.
More of a virtual interview, yeah.
That's more of an Audrey question, and we haven't seen Audrey. Maybe we'll see her soon.
Yeah.
And because I always ask an Audrey question. I would travel Audrey
I
in the
know.
elevator. I know Audrey's probably like, oh God, let me wait for Belinda to get off the elevator. Here she comes. Because I wanted to know things.
Right. And then one of the things that it's been bugging me for a while this season and maybe last season, and I'm not blaming the girls because they're very talented. Olivia Rodrigo and Billie Eilish, those girls are fantastic. Yes. Everybody they've influenced a lot of people, but I'm getting a little tired of everybody singing their songs, no matter what show. Like people from Idol are singing it. People from The Voice are singing it, and so there's a little like cross-reference promotion thing, and
we'll hear it in 3 weeks when America's Got Talent starts.
Yeah, and it makes it a little harder. I feel like those songs should be like prom dresses. When you go to your prom dress, you go and you pick out your prom dress. You ask, is somebody wearing this dress? How many of these dresses have you sold? And you go, oh, no one from Bishop No, or no one's wearing this dress, so you're good. Or you go to
we know that because we worked at a bridal house.
Or you go to an Oscars,
and when they pick it out, we had to put a tag on it.
Yes.
That someone from Bishop No already brought it, so no one from Bishop No can buy that dress because somebody else, because last thing you want to do is go to prom, and someone shows up in the same dress.
So it should be like this season, American Idol gets Billie Eilish, and The Voice gets Olivia Rodrigo. And next season, we switch it up because American Idol gets Adele. This time,
so no one can.
So no one should do Adele or whatever. It's just a little cross reference.
I know exactly what you mean, but those songs are coming.
Kind of bugs me. Oh,
and they're gonna still continue to come, and someone's gonna be singing Barbie really soon. The Barbie song's coming.
It's a tiny pet peeve for me.
In the next 2 weeks, someone will be singing the Barbie song.
That's one of my favorite songs.
Well, we don't need to hear it anymore.
Who knew it would be that popular of a song, but I love it.
I'm glad you love it. We don't need to hear it anymore.
Exactly. And
Titanium's another one.
Yeah.
We've already heard it. Someone already sang it this season on this show. I'm sure it's coming on Idol, or someone already sang it.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. We need to be a little bit more exclusive on the songs. At least I hope so. And I haven't really heard anything else, but as far as The Voice goes, I'm hoping that they'll get an original song. Do you think that'll happen?
No.
Oh.
I don't think it's going to happen. We only have a couple. Okay, there's 3 live shows. We saw one was just on Tuesday.
Right.
There's going to be another one, which is probably going to be dedication
they'll take it down to
for
3
Mother's
people,
Day. And then, so we went from 12 to 9.
Yeah.
The next show is going to go from like 9 to 5, and then that's going to be a finale. Because the finale used to have 4 people in it.
Right.
Now the finale has 5 people in it.
Uh-huh.
And then, as you know, with the finale, you're going to see a bunch of celebrities perform.
Right.
A bunch of recording artists that have record deals. They're all going to perform all hour. And then you're going to see one song at the opening with the top 12, or as they said last year, various artists in the top 20. They didn't even bring the top 12. No. They just brought 12 people, various from the top 20 in, and then they're going to sing, and then they're going to show little cute things for the coaches, and then we're never going to see them again until the last 5 minutes of the show. We're going to bring the 5 out and then start kicking them off. Okay. I wish they would do more with that. Who are your top 5
or who are your top 3?
I wish they would do more with that and show that. Yeah. Although last year, I will give them credit that the top 12 was there live. They were there live, or I shouldn't say 12, the top favorites of the top 20 were there live, and when the winner was crowned, they were there to see them, because the last 2 years, it's been like, just, you won, and here's 3 other people that, that you beat. But I'm going to give them a pass on that because of the pandemic. So hopefully next year we'll get it. So, okay, so Karen's saying, I Hope You Dance.
I
Leon
love that song
Womack.
too.
It's a beautiful song.
I love that song too.
It's always one that's going to come up every other year or every other. Yeah, someone sings.
Yeah, it's a standard. And then Landslide comes up all the time.
Yeah, we already had Landslide once. So I think we already had it on both shows. So okay.
Yeah,
and then Serenity sang Traitor, and that was the one that was the Olivia one. But it sounds like she was just. It sounded just like she took Olivia's version and did it verbatim.
Right.
But her voice is great, it literally looked like, down to the video that Olivia did at, I think it was the MTV Awards or whatever, where she had the little mishap. It was kind of like that, except she'd have all decoration.
Right.
And I was like, didn't we just hear that? We even made a comment that we're probably going to hear this song on The Voice this week because it was just done on Idol.
I know.
And that was it. So I think that's everybody. No, and then Nadage, I know I'm saying her name wrong.
Nadage, I believe.
She did.
She's very soulful, R&B.
Loves Me by Jill Scott.
Yeah.
Which I think that hurt her.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Okay.
She's going to be on the R&B charts.
Yep. And the last person R&B we did cover was John, and John did Angels. So there we Josh.
I'm like, who's John?
Josh did Angels.
Yes.
I keep trying to get a John in this competition.
You do. We got John Legend.
And we had John Legend.
Ordinary People again,
both shows, there's two. There's a Josh, and I'm trying to put a John in there.
Yeah.
Sorry, John went home already. I'm sure there was a John at one of these.
Yeah, I'm sure John went home.
But anyway, so now we had to cut down to the top 9. And just as we thought, when we got to the teams,
who left?
Maddie was safe. Team Chance.
Yeah.
Serenity was safe.
Yeah.
And there went Nadage to sing for the save.
Right.
Then we went to Dan Shay.
Yep.
And Madison was safe. Kira was safe. And Tay had to sing for the save.
Very predictable.
Then we got to Team Reba. And Team Reba, Asher was safe. Josh was safe. And Elle had to sing for the save. And the very last team, which was Team Legend, Bryan was safe, Nathan was safe, and Zoe, is it Zoe or Zoe? Zoe, okay. She had to sing for the save. So cool. And it had to be one of each team.
One from each. It just happened that way.
So then that's when you have to think of your Save Me song. Now your Save Me song is. You can't help that. Producers have you pick out a song, probably at the beginning of the season.
Yes,
it doesn't change much.
Should you get kicked off? You need to be said, what's your song? And people go, what song do I know really well? What song is my good song? So I'm going to sing that.
You practice it, and we don't know if you're going to practice it again. I think you practice the day before, just in case you're in the bottom.
Right.
But people have got to pick a slow song that's going to show their voice, that's going to show what they can do. And you got to pick a familiar song,
but sometimes it backfires.
That people want you to vote for. So song that, and also that's a little bit upbeat and slow as well, because you got to show your vocal things, and you got to show it. And this is where they all went wrong, in my opinion. The Daz, I keep saying her name. Well, she's gone now. I apologize if I'm saying her name wrong.
I assume.
She's saying Smooth Operation did?
Smooth
Operation by Sade. Now, you know I love Sade. We want to go there with the 80s to try to get it for the reference. I Will Save You. The I Love Sade story. Love Sade.
Yes.
Love Smooth Operator.
Yeah, and it was a good song for her. But
the minute she opened her mouth, Diamond Line, I'm like, oh no, not Smooth Operator. even though Carson said, and singing Smooth Operator, and I'm like,
she would have been better
is there
off
a
singing
different
Diamonds
Smooth
by
Operator?
Rihanna,
Is she singing the Sade Smooth Operator? Is she singing the Big Daddy Kane Smooth Operator? Because I hope she's not doing the Sade version, because I don't think it's going to work. And she's a beautiful voice. She sang Jill Scott the day before, which also was good, but people don't know that song. You need a song that's going to get you votes. So then you sing Smooth Operator. We all know Smooth Operator, but it sounded jazzy. It sounded like she was at the Catalina Bar and Grill. It sounded like she was at that one place in the valley. It was too smoothie, too jazzy, little sleepy, beautiful vocals.
Right.
I thought, this isn't going to work. You have to understand, you got to pick a song that you need to that's going to save you.
Right.
And then we had... And that's, I think, they didn't do. I think they weren't doing songs that would save them. And I think that's what hurt them. Then again, you're going by a Save Me where you only have a few minutes to vote.
Right.
You only have a few minutes
and
to vote.
And you don't have everyone.
You don't have everyone.
It's live based on the East Coast. It's delayed West Coast and other people.
The West Coast.
Yeah.
And other areas. Not to everybody all the time. They're voting off
Not
of
that
you.
many people are voting.
They're voting off of you based on just hearing that you sang a song. And that's what you need
hearing that you're in the bottom.
Hearing that you're in the bottom. And that's what they need to think of as well. Because you're going to get those situations. And I think that's what happened. Where I think when they were singing, I thought, what's her name saying? Don't let the sun come down on me. Was it Elle?
Yeah.
Who sang that? Beautiful song. Loved it. We all love Elton. We love the song. But once again, it was a little too slow, not as upbeat, and it was a little sleepy. Not her vocals. Like, the vocals were great. I just think you got to get people to vote for you. And I mean, you get what I'm saying? That's what I think.
Yes, definitely.
So when I heard all three of them sing, I immediately thought, Tay's going to win. Although I voted for Nadage. I thought Tay's going to help her, to give her a plug, and to help, I gave her a plug.
I think Tay was the right choice to win. He had the most energy, he had the most potential, and I think he has the most, out of all the people on there that were in the bottom, I think he probably has the most to grab a crowd or maintain a crowd. The most entertain a crowd, if I'm going by entertainment value alone for a live show.
What I did not suspect, though, he won, and that means everyone has to go home except for Dan and Shay.
Yeah, Dan and Shay.
And we go back to who we thought had the strongest team. None of us said Dan and Shay.
Did I not?
I think you did say that. I know.
I mentioned that.
I said John Legend had the strongest team, but he was going to mess it up. And then, but he didn't mess it up. He did mess it up. And then I said Chance, and I think you said John Legend and maybe Dan and Shay. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't honestly.
I said to begin this conversation, and now I'm like, what did I say?
I know, now I don't remember.
So Dan and Shay have three people.
Yeah.
Their three people are still there, and now we are down to a top 9.
Right.
So
I think their three people are the most diverse too. Karen does country, Madison can do pop, and Tay does country.
Yep.
They probably have like the most diverse number of people.
So what do you think is going to happen next week? I don't know the theme.
I'm not
sure.
And
I don't know when they sing 2 songs. It might be next week they sing 2 songs. I know the coaches perform with their teams.
I'm not sure what.
So one day you get 2 coaches, and next day you get 2 other coaches.
Okay, well here's who I hope advances. Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be hard. Bryan, Nathan.
Yep.
Karen.
Maddie
Jane. See, I'm just naming people
That's
now.
3.
Asher.
That's 4.
And did I say? I said Josh. I need another girl.
Did you say Josh? Because Josh is a band.
I said Josh. Okay, Maddie Jane, Josh,
Nathan.
Asher. Oh man,
Asher and Bryan. That's
Nathan,
your father.
Bryan. I know, but I need another person. I need Madison or Maddie Jane. Oh man,
Maddie Jane is going nowhere but to the finale.
This is hard.
That's where she's going.
Okay, this is gonna work then. Cause then
it's not gonna work.
I need 5 people.
Yeah, Maddie and Nathan.
Do you have 5?
Maddie, Nathan, and Josh are going. That's your 3 that are definitely going into
are
going into the finale. I say that now. Then again, I watched a really great guy go home and not get in the top finale last year.
Yeah. Did you name 5?
Well, those are 3. Now let's see who's left.
Okay, who's left?
I say either Maddie's not going alone. Either Madison or Serenity will go with her. Either or. We won't have both.
Madison.
It's probably Madison, because then you'll get some for Dan and Shay.
Okay, so then...
Now, mind you, the producers would like to have one of each judge in there, but sometimes it doesn't come that way.
Maddie,
so they're going to be
Josh, and Madison.
So Maddie, Nathan, and Josh. That's a guarantee. And then we have Madison and who?
You said Bryan?
Madison and Bryan.
Madison and Bryan.
So you wrote that down. You agree? You want to change differently?
No, I think that works. Maddie, Nathan, Josh, Madison, Bryan.
Because Asher and Tay are going to have to fight for the 5th spot if they even get it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
It depends on what they sing, too.
And Nathan's are, well, somebody is going to bust out the gospel song, either God's Country or that Vince Gill song.
Yeah.
The one, the Patty Group of songs already been covered.
Right.
Someone's busting that out.
Right. Okay, well, I hope that we do it. The one thing I do
Karen,
like about
I think
the
Karen,
show,
yeah.
it's like they're all so good that
that's the
really
sad part
good
about it.
is
One
going
thing
home.
about The Voice, we were talking about that from that other show. There's a lot of people on this show.
They're going home no matter
There's a lot of ready people. And I think because there's no age difference. These people are very experienced.
Right.
They're in the business and all that. And it reminds you a little bit of Rockstar, which is the same producers.
Right.
Like the Rockstar show, all those people were ready.
Oh, yeah.
They were all styles of music, and they were all ready in their genre.
Should have had a label.
Yeah, they all should have had record deals. They all used, but and a lot of them came to that show because the producer had recruited them.
Right.
But unfortunately, on this show, when the judges are picking people, they start hearing their voices. They're like, okay, I got this woman. She's a background singer. I only can have 2 of them. There's like 5 of them, so one of them loses out. We got these guys. They've been whatever. We have these kids that are maybe too young. We have, we have those. Then they probably it's in a group like that. Usually, one group usually makes it, if that. So that's the hardest part. They always come up with usually out of the top 40,
right?
There's usually 20 people that are really, really good. So you see some painful cuts early on. There's some people that are so good. You're like, oh, they went home. But hopefully, and they go home, they get corporate gigs out of this. They build their platforms. They get, gigs, in their town, hoping about independent records. So that's the whole point of it, this workshop,
I still think it's on too much. It needs to come on once
a
year.
The 1 year it came out once a year was perfect.
Yeah.
The minute they went back.
It still needs to do that.
The minute they went back to twice a year, I think that kind of hurt it. The minute they when they went back to twice a year, it's on too much.
Right.
So, but, what are you going to do? That's what happens. So that's what I'm thinking. Nathan's still my favorite. I hope he gets it to the finale. And Nathan. I like Nathan and Bryan. And for girls, probably have the 3 girls. Was there 3 girls left? 4 girls left?
I think there's 4.
There's more guys than girls. There's 9 left. I think it's 5 guys and 4 girls, but don't quote me on that. I think I like Madison the best out of all the girls.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Maddie Jane is a star.
Yeah.
And there we have it.
Yeah. That's
great. It's going to be interesting.
I know.
Great. To see how we do.
Another great season.
Another great season. And we will be back to tell you all about the finale.
Yeah.
We'll either be back to
and how it went down.
We'll either be back to tell you who's going to be in the finale and all that, or we'll be back to tell you just about who's in the finale and how the finale went down, just depending on our schedule. Because it's May, and as you know, May is very, very busy with finales. And
there's a lot going on.
There's a lot of things with all the shows wrapping up in the year in May. Yeah. We also got prep stuff for the Emmys coming up.
Yep.
Daytime Emmys, plus we have prep stuff for the primetime Emmys, which although it's not till September, all the For Your Consideration events are happening now until the middle of June because they announced them in July.
It came out film festivals.
And then we have all the film festivals. We have all the film festivals that are up. And then we have concert season, which...
oh, yeah. It's concert week. There are $25 tickets for a lot of good shows. People should look those up.
Definitely look it up. Go to Live Nation, type in concerts.
I think Access has it too.
Yeah, type in concerts, $25 week. Look it up. Go to your city. And all tickets are $25. And there's no...
if you can, support your local artists
and your
venues.
Service fees. That's the most important thing. Because as you know, Ticketmaster and all these people charge you a service fee. So it's a flat out $25. You get your ticket.
Right.
It goes right to your phone.
So maybe Live Nation, ask somebody, AEG, not AEG, but
you're in the door, whatever.
Sponsorship.
It's Live Nation. I don't know about Access. If they're doing it, I haven't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are.
Oh, okay. I'll have to take a look into it. I only know about Live Nation. But anyway, take a look at it.
Right.
And pick up tickets. It's the best thing you could do because, as you know, concert tickets are very, very expensive.
Oh, yeah.
And you may be sitting in the 200 section, but it's better than not going at all. And not, it's better than sitting at home.
Well, you're a big live music fan.
I'm
so
saying
that's why you're saying it.
Also, general admission tickets. And there's a lot of those are on $25. And you know you're going to be standing. You can get a ticket for $25 and not buy a $35 and pay $50 a piece. Jump on it. Anyway, Phyllis, to wrap things up, where can we find you on social media?
Oh, yeah. You can find me, Phyllis_Thomas on Twitter. You can find me Instagram at Phyllis S. Thomas. And, our Instagram page, you can find us there, TVMusic Network.
You can find me at Belinda's LA Music, talking about all things TV music and everything in between. You can find me there on Instagram. You can also find me there on Twitter.
Yep.
And I think you gave all the information. And our podcast can be found anywhere you can find your local podcast.
Yes.
We're on
Apple, iHeart, Amazon,
and all that. And if you do start a podcast, forward it to a friend. Have a friend take a look and listen to it and see what we think.
Yeah, give a shout out.
Give a shout out. Speaking of shout outs and speaking of original songs, closing up today is an original song. It's called Eden. And you're hearing just the beginning of it instrumentally.
Yeah, it's a beautiful song.
A beautiful song written by our good friends John Morgan and Dave Simiak. Thank you. Take care, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Goodbye from California.
Yeah, have a good one, people. Goodbye.